We are back with the third round of racing today. The last round, 30 minutes it will be. And here in this 30-minute round, all of the drivers will have to manage their fuel carefully. We see Jonathan Alvarez starting again in the third position. Second row for him. And Jesus Sicilia in front again. Manu Rayo Largo classified himself again second, so they're going to start again in the same positioning they did in the second round. So it's going to be interesting to see how Manu Rayo Largo deals with Jonathan Alvarez. At the start of the race, we saw them in the second session having a little bit of a touch in that Andretti hairpin, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens between them. Very interesting, as a matter of fact, to see what happens with them. There we go. And this time Manu gets to start much stronger. This time even managing to stay aside with Jesus Sicilia. But this is going to be a problem for him in the turn, because this is going to give space to Jonathan Alvarez to attack. It seems that it doesn't happen that way. Manu Rayo Largo stays in second position. Victor de la Fuente managing to attack Alberto Toribio Garcia behind. The Ocean Landing car already managing to win positions, and Manu Rayo Largo having a little bit of trouble in the third turn, in the fourth turn, getting to the fifth. This is a turn where we saw all the drivers have a little bit of a maybe I have to say a little bit of a big crash in the second session, and it seems that they're managing to do everything well just now. Dennis Fisher in the chase as well. The Native Health Matters car of David Galla right now being attacked by the Patriot Capital Partners car.
I'll tell you what, Victor Fuentes had a wonderful start. He weaved in and out and probably passed about 5 cars, probably into third place right now. So he did a wonderful job at that start. And we're watching the Native Health Matters car just there going down the corkscrew and doing a wonderful job by Mr. Geyer. He's got that car back on track now.
Manu Rayo Largo manages to stay in front of Jonathan Alvarez. Jonathan Alvarez closing up to Manu, the number 22, managing to stay in front of him, but it's going to be complicated by what we are watching right now, because it seems that in this first laps, Manu has been having a little bit of a trouble, but he is managing to change his destiny a little bit, at least for the start of the race. Still 27 minutes, 28 I can say minutes almost to go. Naturally Morty with the Kill Pop Radio car, the number 17, also managing to stay near the top 10. Not sure how close he is to that top 10, but it seems that he has done a great job to keep himself inside the track as well. Some cars already had a little bit of damage. We saw some of them being a bit bashed, and it seems that Ivan Mula-Vivero with the Paint Stewart Academy, Golf Academy, it seems to be very well, still rolling without any trouble. In the 12th position is Ivan Sander Kafa with the Patriot Capital Partners on his car. The number 15 managing as well to escape trouble. Seems the car behind him didn't had the same luck, and it's going to be complicated right now. Sander Kafa managing to maintain himself, but being overtaken by 2 drivers in this last sector. Now defending the position, taking the inside, and that costs to the driver following Sander almost 2 positions. Seems that he went very wide. Sander Kafa doing a good job right now with 3 drivers chasing him very close. Patriot Capital Partners in front of this shot right now. David Gaya with the Native Health Matters car following Sander. And it's getting complicated. Still we see a big trail of points, of dots in that mini-map on top of the screen. You can get to see what's happening there, and we get to see those blue dots that let us know that we already have lap drivers. So that means that at the beginning of the race they've been having big trouble. Hemos estado viendo a muchos de los pilotos que han estado teniendo problemas al principio de la sesión. Ahora parece que han conseguido controlar un poco más lo que estaba pasando entre ellos. Y Manu Rey Largo ha conseguido defender en esta ocasión. Ha conseguido hacer una salida mucho más sólida al principio de la carrera. Ha conseguido defenderse de Jonathan Álvarez, pero ahora mismo Jonathan sigue persiguiéndole desde muy cerca. Jesús buscando el hat-trick, se puede decir, tratando de consolidar esas 3 posiciones, así que está haciendo un gran trabajo y todavía nos quedan 24 minutos para llegar al final de la tanda, así que todavía tiene mucho trabajo que hacer, muchas vueltas por delante y va a ser interesante a ver cómo acaba toda esta situación. Nos quedamos con el vehículo de Manu Rey Largo y esa pintura de Milestones Rehab and Development. El número 22, the number 22. And there you have the number 22 in Spanish as well. Manu Rey Largo.
In both languages.
Yeah, exactly. I can feel a little bit of Google's translator in my spare time. But here we are with Victor de la Fuente, the number 25, and that Ocean Landing paint on his BMW, managing to stay in front of the pack, chasing him. Some of the drivers right now close to him are very ferocious, like Juan Jose Sanchez. Right now we are watching the 5th and the 6th classified. In this exact moment, these 2 drivers are managing to stay in the top. They're going to have to fight to maintain that top 5, or let's see who finishes in the top 5. Victor de la Fuente with Juan Jose Sanchez close to him. Alberto Toribio Garcia 7th, and Nacho Morti close to them, as well as Ricardo Marina Rollón and Dennis Fisher.
Because see, Carlos, see, that's the difference between you and I. See, you see drivers and cars, and I see Ocean's Lending, Folsom Nissan, I see Red Rock Chocolate Factory, I see Kill Pop, and I think the next one is the fire car. Yeah, the number 9. So that's what I see. So we're certainly not looking at the same thing.
Exactly. But it's 2 different things in the exact same moment.
Exactly. Well, at least I'm getting to recognize the new cars now. It was a little bit of a challenge yesterday, if you remember, remembering that we have, 6 new skins on cars out there with different numbers. So it's been a little bit of a transition for us.
Yeah, and it's actually a great joy to see new paints, to see new designs, to see new names, to see new drivers. I mean, having something new is always exciting. So I'm grateful as the Hearts Foundation Association for having all of them with us, as well as all of the people working inside the project and everyone that is making this possible, as well as, of course, the drivers that are giving right now a great show. And it seems that Manu Rey Largo still manages to stay in front of Jonathan Alvarez, the number 22, and the number 34, Milestones Rehab and Development, driven by Manu Rey Largo, and Maybe Motion Pictures behind, driven by Jonathan Alvarez. And those are the 2 versions, the competition version and the commercial version.
Well, we got a lot of commercial out there.
Yeah. And there we go with Nacho Limorti again managing to do a great job, and there they have to take extreme measures going out of the track to dodge that driver that was stuck in the middle a little bit without speed, and that's a very difficult situation, especially that uphill part of the track where you want to keep momentum as you go up.
Yeah, as we know, I don't think they need fuel the first 10 minutes into the race, but eventually they will have to take a pit stop and get some fuel.
Yeah, exactly. As we baptized the maneuver last season, the sip and go.
The sip and go. That's correct.
Exactly.
A little sip and go. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was. There was it wasn't one of the ones we talked about, one of the advertisings. I think we mentioned 7-Eleven as a slurp and go and a couple of things we were making fun of. But I actually pulled into, when I was in Las Vegas, I pulled into a gas station. They had their little convenience store, and it said, "Sip and save, Carlos." And I just started laughing. I said, I think we have a copyright on sip and go. So I think they said sip and save, but I think we should, talk to them about sponsoring us and maybe have a sip and go with that new franchise.
We gotta call the offices just now, Vince.
Well, again, we again, one of the wonderful things here, as you know, at Sim Racing, as you can see, we've got the first responder car doesn't have a hood, but we can still race. There you go. He's got no front grille, but he's still turning the laps. Then we got a couple of hoods missing. The cars don't crash. As we call them, there's a bunch of mishaps that happen. I mean, these drivers are going full out for every position and every point, and we've coined the phrase mishaps, which has become almost a universal term now in sim racing. So I'm really, really proud of that. And the other thing is nobody gets hurt. It's one of the things that we did when we first started this, is we know that drivers, are not going to get hurt in some of these, some of these mishaps. And we've had some pretty horrific ones. And as you know, I just laugh because I think it's funny, and I only laugh because I know none of the drivers are hurt. If somebody was hurt, I wouldn't be laughing.
It's what it is. It's a simulator at the end of the day, and they don't really get hurt. They don't really injure themselves, so they don't. And at the same time, there's a lot of pluses to what sim racing lets us take care of, and nature is another one of those. We don't get a lot of pollution out. We know that everybody's safe. We know we haven't spent thousands of dollars in pieces of cars and car parts. So it's something different. It's something that really lets everyone develop their skills, and it brings a great show.
I know that the people that have joined us today, we're getting a lot of great comments about the racing and how well it looks and how well it's performed in the competition. So, it's just like real racing, as I tell people. Other than, we don't have to fix the cars all week. We don't have to pay for fuel. We don't have to worry about tires and trucks and moving from location to location.
Exactly.
We're in our studio at the GSIM Racing Center, and that's we could do everything right from here. And of course, we're COVID safe because all the drivers are at home in their rigs. So that's a big plus for what we're doing. And the rest is hopefully you're enjoying the races. And if you do, then please go to our allgratefulhearts.org and make a donation and help our COVID victims, help our Native Health Matters people, and also anybody that you feel you need to help, let us know, and we'll see what we can do for you. And while I'm talking and taking up time during this race, I forgot, if you want to have a car in the race, they are $7,500 for a donation to put your skin on the car. and I know that a lot of these sponsors have put them up on their website, and they've gotten a lot of business because of the conversation about having race cars. And as we speak, there's the new one of our Native Health Matters car. And if Chris can show that again, it's just a wonderful car. We've got our Heart to Heart International car out there leading the way, helping in 60 countries around the world, and all the money that we get from the donations go to them to help our COVID victims. And there you go. There's the Native Health Matters car. Beautiful car, turquoise. One of a few colors that we've never used before, and it just came out. I just think it's a beautiful car.
Very nice design amongst all of the vehicles we see in the competition. And we got to see a few minutes ago Dennis Fisher maintaining himself in the chase we are watching right now with Nacho Limorti and Ricardo Marina Rollon, the Kill Pop radio car and the fire car from the first responders. An extreme situation there from Nacho Limorti in the last turn of this Laguna Seca Raceway. Almost getting to have an impact there with that only gear car that we saw almost stop to the right, going very slow. And we are watching Manu Rayo Largo, the second and the third position right now. Drivers, Jonathan Alvarez. And if I'm not wrong, I don't know what has happened, but it seems that Jesus Sicilia has stopped already for the little sip and go.
Sip and go. It's that time, like I said, you got to time it right. He went halfway. It looks like he's going in. I know a few weeks ago, if you remember, he came in a little too fast later in the race. So I think he decided to just take his time, go halfway, refuel, and then get back on the track and make up the ground. So he's in the pit right now in the 9th position.
And we can see the battle ongoing still between Manu Rayo Largo and Jonathan Alvarez. Jonathan Alvarez managing to stay close to Manu Rayo Largo. That Maven Motion Pictures BMW closing up on the Milestones Rehab and Development. Milestone in singular.
Yeah, well, I hope they use more than one stone to build the buildings.
You're gonna need a lot more.
They need more than one. But Milestone Rehab and Development, and again, one of our early sponsors and a wonderful company to work with. So that car's doing well. I know they're happy seeing their car right up there in second place. We're actually in first place right now. Excuse me. For a brief moment, Jesus Cilia is not up on top. It's Manu Rayo leading the way.
Exactly. Manu Rayo Largo managing to stay in front of Jonathan Alvarez, but Jonathan Alvarez hasn't said his last word yet. The number 34 with the Maven Motion Pictures car managing to stay very close to Manu Rayo Largo. And the Milestone Rehab and Development car, the number 22, leading right now. And we'll have to see what happens with Jesus Sicilia after he gets back to the track, which he already did. But he has a minute and a half of distance between himself and the leaders right now we are watching. So it's going to be difficult for him to maintain himself, but to maintain himself in the pace, since he's going to have to lead to deal with the traffic in front. We'll see when Manu and Jonathan, right now in first and second position, will get into the pit lane. But here comes another question mark. Adrian Baeza, the number 16, the old car of Jesus Sicilia. We can say right now driven by Adrian Baeza, the Be Social paint on it, and driving through the corkscrew. the most complicated turn, the most technical turn, and the most compromised sometimes by crashes. Nacho Limorti, the number 17 at the Kill Pop radio car, still maintaining himself in front of Ricardo Marina Rollon with the fire car of the first responders. Dennis Fisher doing a great job to break the top 10 Spanish absolute result. So even though I'm a Spaniard as well, I have to I have to say that I'm glad that he's doing that, because he's showing that we have level from different points of the globe. Dennis Fisher managing to stay 8th, and Nacho Limorti with the Kill Pop radio paint on his BMW M4 GT3, still in front of Ricardo Marina Rollon, Luis Enrique Carrasco, the number 37, and the Dave Capital Partners paint on his vehicle, chasing the car in front. Diego Bande as well with the police car of the first responders, and it seems that he had to deal with a little bit of a situation. We can see that car a bit scratched. And Alberto Toribio Garcia with one of my favorite paints, the Red Rock Chocolate Factory. The number 3, Alberto Toribio Garcia, stained in the position number 5 for the moment, managing to make it possible. The top 5 will be a very good result for him. I'm sure he'll be happy, because he knows, and we know, that this is top level competition, and we hope to see the top level drivers in the world, and even more of them, because we already have some of them, and we hope to see as much of that as possible. Jesus Sicilia is recovering in the mid-pack. Still is going to be interesting to see how they synchronize at the exit of the pit lane, and to see where Jesus Sicilia is at after Manu Rayo Largo and Jonathan Alvarez get out of it. Alberto Toribio Garcia going down Rayleigh. Rainy, sorry. I was checking it out because I was sure I didn't say the name right.
It's okay. Hey, Carlos, it looks like they're going some pretty fast laps. The pace has been hot, so it looks like the top 5 or 6 cars are probably going to have to do that sip and go someplace here in the last 7 minutes.
It's about to happen. It's about to happen. We are there, and Manu Rayo Largo is pushing the pace as harder as he can to make sure that Jonathan Alvarez doesn't enter the pit lane in front of him. So the situation is going to be quite complicated, because also they have Adrian Baeza in the equation right now in 3rd position with the B-Social car. So it's going to be very interesting what happens, exactly as you pointed, afterwards they get out of the pit lane. Victor de la Fuente as well in the top 5, the Ocean Landing car, managing to stay in the top 5, as well as Red Rock Chocolate Factory car we are watching just now. And it's making me think of chocolate.
Oh, the chocolate's so good too, Carlos.
I think that's my second passion after racing, but yeah.
As I always say, you never see a child crying eating chocolate or ice cream.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. It's against physics.
It's something inside of us. It's genetics.
Yeah. And there we go with the sweet car of Alberto Toribio Garcia, the Red Rock Chocolate Factory. The number 3 right now having to deal with Juan Jose Sanchez in front of him. It seems that Juan Jose had a little bit of trouble and he's lapped now. 1 lap behind. And Manu Rayo Largo and Jonathan Alvarez is still pushing hard and very hard indeed to see who gets inside of the pit lane if they need it, because I think they're going to enter the pit lane. We are almost 100% sure, but we've seen the drivers manage to not consume too much fuel, so it's getting up to that interesting point.
I think we learned in July the drivers do whatever they want, and nothing we say referring to the 25th race that we had, and we thought the race was over, but they raced for another 2 laps and decided it on their own. So since then, I just kind of leave it up to the drivers. But yes, they're going to be in a critical situation. We have seen some drivers, buck the system and try to make it through, and other times we saw them not make it. So it's all part of the strategy. It's why we put this 30-minute race in. You have just enough gas to get there if you go slow, or if you go fast, you got to do the old sip and go.
Exactly, and it becomes an important factor in the equation. We've seen, as you've said, a lot of times the drivers managing to not consume as much, to be more frugal, and to be able to do it till the end. But sometimes that doesn't work, and they get they have to pull to the side.
I'm curious, Carlos. I just came up with a question in my head. Since Jesus is in the back of the pack, what it must feel like for some of the young drivers to have Jesus Cilio behind you instead of you chasing him.
Yeah, the pressure might be rising up to a boiling point in their heads, for sure. I'm sure that Manu Rayo Largo, Jonathan Alvarez, Adrian Baeza, the guys in the top 5 are used to that, but they know what Jesus means and what he's actually capable of doing. So he already was a bit in front. He had a little bit of advantage. So I think when they recover to that point, and when the guys get in the pit lane, if they do, they are going to still have Jesus in front, if I'm not wrong. But it's going to be interesting anyway to see how much distance.
Yeah. Chris has found Jesus in the back there. He's behind the number 15, the Patriot Capital Partner car, as they race around, and I'm sure Jesus is bearing down on them, and he looks like he's about two seconds faster, per lap. So still not as fast as Manuel Lago, but certainly faster than some of these drivers. And no offense, but unfortunately. Jesus is gobbling them up now.
Yeah, well, the mid pack that has to deal with Jesus right now, and Jesus that is having to deal as well with them. It's becoming quite of a problem. It becomes quite of a problem for both of them, because they really have to deal with space, and then they have to give up time. So it's going to be interesting to see how much time has Jesus lost in that pitting maneuver and having to deal with the traffic in front, as you pointed out. Right now, Manu Rayo Largo, this may be motion pictures, and the Milestone Rehab Development car in front of Manu Rayo Largo and Jonathan Alvarez behind. Right now, I think they are about to make that stop in this lap. So I think this might be the chance for them, but I feel that they are consuming a lot in this track. They have to go up and down a lot, so that means that the mathematics of the fuel consumption can betray them.
Well, I'm a riverboat gambler, so I would just stay on the track and see how much fuel I got left.
That's a good solution to guarantee you get to the end.
They've only got a minute and a half left, and they're still going full bore, go guns blazing, down the backstretch. So
yeah,
looks like an all or nothing here. I don't think anybody's slowing down.
Yeah, and it's becoming quite interesting already and now even more interesting as laps go by because we are seeing that they are going pedal to the metal. They're really trying to push a pace. The number 21 today is hot pace, we can say so. It's interesting. It's interesting to see this lap right now between Manu Rayo Largo and Jonathan Alvarez, the number 22, the number 34. Milestone Rehab and Development in front, Maven Motion Pictures behind, and we'll still have to know what happens with that heart-to-heart international car of Jesus Sicilia after all of the drivers stop. Not sure if they are going to, because I have a little feeling that they might go all the way without stopping. Seems that they are managing to keep the fuel consumption in the low side. So this is where we get to see a stop, and it's not happening. So this is the way it's going to be. Manu Rayo Largo managing to keep himself in front. I feel I'm not 100% sure that they've finished.
They're not finished. Looks like they've got a full lap to go.
Yeah. The counter was given their.
It's usually they got to get over the line, and then it gives them a. He's shaking back and forth.
It was.
Okay.
It was the end of the race. Manu Rayo Largo.
There you go.
In first position, Jonathan Alvarez following. In second, Adrian Baeza managing to do third place in this third race today. And the upset for Jesus Sicilia, a little bit problematic of a stop that he had to take. I think it's been very damaging for him position-wise. That stop, it's surprising that he didn't. That Manu and Jonathan just showed us that it wasn't needed. But the type of pace that they've been maintaining was very surprising from people that just did the whole race all the way through without stopping. There we go with Jesus Sicilia stopping to the side. Surprising result to the end of the session, and there we go with Manu Rayo Largo finishing first, Jonathan Alvarez and Adrian Baeza managing to complete the top three. It was a joy to see this sessions. I hope that you, ladies and gentlemen, enjoyed every bit of it. I did. So I hope to see you guys in the next race, which will be in the new track that A-Racing has released on Hungaroring on Hungary.